Hi everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the Serenity Prayer, which you may have heard somewhere along the way. The Serenity Prayer is simple in words, but a little complicated trying to implement it or really understand its whole meaning. It goes like this. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So that requires acceptance, courage, and wisdom. Those things are big deals, and they don't come to us easily, especially when we're in situations where we are expected or required or simply must do things that go against our grain, that challenge us, that make us upset because they are in existence. So certainly at this time with the pandemic, there's a lot of things going on that are making us shift in ways that we normally wouldn't and probably don't want to. So there becomes this friction. It's helpful to know that there are things you can change in this situation, and primarily that can be your attitude or even your clothes or your diet or where you spend most of your time within your house or your apartment, or for some of us there's not that much choice because we have to go to work outside the home in conditions that are not safe. And so that brings a whole other set of conditions about accepting what is, what can be changed and what can't. So it's a very complex, layered system we have right now, and our lives are all churning in different ways because of the pandemic. So it's very difficult sometimes to even understand each other because we're all not going through the same situations, the same worries, the same fears, the same hardships. So it's more important than ever now that we pause and take a step back before we respond, because there's a lot we don't know about what's going on with each other and our circumstances. There's a lot we don't know about what's going on in our neighborhoods, our town, our state, our country, our world. There's a lot of mystery right now, a lot of question marks. The way we respond to things is really the way that we live, because if you think about it, our days are full of responses to things. We don't just sit back and let things fly by. We react to them and have either something to say or something to do, or even more importantly, a feeling that comes up inside of us. So the teachings, many ancient teachings, ask us to take a pause between what's happening and how we respond to what's happening. In Buddhism, suffering is called dukkha, and dukkha is brought about by us not being willing to see clearly the truth of what's really happening. And we do that by wanting things to be different than they are. And when we can't make them different, we get agitated, we throw blame, we get depressed or angry, we jump out at other people, or we just get sad and reclusive, and anywhere along that spectrum we show up. So I have read a lot by Viktor Frankl, who's was an Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist. He was also a Holocaust survivor. And he wrote that between the stimulus, what happens, and the response, how we respond to it, there's a space. There's a space in there between stimulus and response. And in that place is our power to choose how we're going to react and respond. So to take a step back sometimes and just take a breath in and out and receive what's happening so that we can really think about it a little bit first before reacting to it, usually with our words, can be of great benefit right about now, because there's so much that we cannot change. Our agency has been pulled back just enough to really flare things up inside of us. Viktor Frankl, he talked about the last of the human freedoms, which is our ability to choose our attitude in any set of circumstances. The last of the human freedoms, to be able to choose how we respond, our attitude in any set of circumstances. And that's a great gift that we have, but it's one that gets hijacked a lot by our tendencies to flip out or react in habitual ways that we've been doing all our lives. So for serenity's sake, I offer you the invitation to maybe just once today or twice, when something comes up, it can be something you read on your email or hear on the news and you feel something rise up inside of you. Turn it off, whatever it is, shut the book, step away, give yourself a breath or two, and allow yourself to recognize that you have this human freedom to choose your attitude, to choose your response.